We are back and we're in the shop. And it's the next day, and guess what? Frame's back. We already got the frame back from powder coat. So, as you can see, it looks 10 times better. You can see that color. Triple bronze. That's what we went with. That's what we got. And then over here, we got the subframe, all the bracketry, sway bar, all the stuff. And then we got a bunch of new stuff over that way. Anyways, so we're gonna take this frame, we're gonna bring it over here, we're gonna get it put on the lift, and we're gonna make it into a roller. The only thing is, I haven't totally decided the rear end situation. Reason being, I did some measuring. It seemed like it was making the leaf springs bow in a little bit. So I'm gonna get all this on there. I'm gonna recheck everything, see how I feel about it. And if anything, I'll cut these perches off, put new perches, move them inboard. Right? No, I need to move them out. I need to move them out on the axle. So we'll address that when we get there. So we're not gonna put the bed on the truck yet. My goal is, we're gonna get the frame in here, put the axle on it, put the front end together, put the new wheels and tires on it, set it on the ground. Then I want the engine, transmission sitting in the frame, and then the cab on the frame by the end of this video. That's what we're shooting for in this video. Hey, so we'll see if we can make that happen. Luckily, it's a 3-day weekend, Labor Day weekend, so we should be able to make that happen. I feel pretty confident in it. And then once we do that, and then we're gonna work with QA1 with some coilovers. So we're gonna get some coilovers on the way, and then also Vintage Air. Once again, they're like, man, you need AC. You're in South Texas, which is only about an hour or so away from me. So we're gonna put AC in this thing too. That was not the plan, but I don't know about y'all, but AC's pretty prioritized, you know, just saying. So first things first, we get this frame back into a roller and probably scratch it. Okay. Go down with it. We got the subframe bolted in. We got the rack and pinion bolted in. I'm still waiting on the upper, whatever you want to call it, whatever this top bracket is to come in from that Outcast Auto Works or whatever it's called. So waiting on those two to come in. Not a big deal. I'm just gonna powder coat them black, and they just bolted in there and there, and it's done. So Pablo went ahead and stripped the control arms off of the knuckles. And we got brand new upper and lowers. I think that's all we got new, suspension wise, right?
Yeah. Upper and lowers.
Uppers and lowers.
Battery tray.
Oh, yeah, I bought a new battery tray, you know. The one in the cab is a little rusted out. So now we'll work on we're gonna put the old struts in it for now. Not a big deal until the coilovers come in. The coilovers won't ship till sometime next week and everything, but like I said, we want to get this thing into a roller, so we're really gonna just chuck those in there. Not that bad to change later. That's what we're gonna do. So now we're gonna hang the struts in it, put the lower control arms on, then the uppers, and then put the knuckles in, and that's really kind of
sway bar if you want.
Oh yeah, we'll throw the sway bar in it and throw the wheels and tires on it, and it's a roller. That's simple. And Shelby's out here unwrapping everything for us, getting it all set up. So
practice it for Christmas.
She's helping build her sister's truck
that she doesn't like.
Yeah, she doesn't like the flames on her.
I like two things.
What do you like?
The frame and the wheels.
The frame and the wheels. Okay. Hey, wait until y'all see the wheels. The wheels, perfect. But like I said, we're gonna work on getting all this stuff in and get into a roller tonight.
Yeah, especially with your wrap like that.
I can't.
Yeah, but we can come back to this. Alright, now we're gonna hang the spindles. We got the subframe, everything in. Like I said, we're gonna learn English for a second. We're gonna work with QA1 on this project. We're just gonna keep it real simple. We're just gonna run the coilovers on the front. The soonest we can get coilovers for this thing is single adjustables before Ford Fest. So they're gonna send me some single adjustables. We're gonna have those on here, and then if I feel like it needs double adjustables, they're gonna send me some doubles and we'll go from there. And then probably eventually, I don't know, we're gonna see. I plan to use this truck pretty good, so that's why I wanna stick with the leaf springs in the rear. That way I can tow with it. Yes, I understand you can tow with coilovers. I get it, okay guys? Calm down. But leaf springs, tried and true. I want to tow with it. I want to have stuff in the bed of this truck and not have issues, because I'm not cutting the floor of the truck or anything like Gilligan, where I'm limited to the back side of the bed of the truck basically, and I'm kind of screwed. But front end is on the truck, everything's good. Now we're gonna put the wheels and tires on it. Now you get to see the wheels and tires. We got some fatties for the back. This is not gonna be a lot of people's style. I already know it. I can hear it now. I can hear the keyboards just smacking away. Like, how dare you? You need to put welds on that thing, or center lines or something. But I'm not. We're gonna put these bad boys. Look at those. Look at them. So, rears are 19 by 11s with a 295/35/19, and the fronts are 19 by 9.5s with, I think they're 265. 265/35/19s for the front. So, the truck, probably gonna handle pretty good. So maybe when we're at Ford Fest, depending on how poorly the truck's put together, when we get there, we might take it on the road course and see what it does. But we're gonna go ahead, throw these wheels and tires on it, make this thing into a roller, and we're gonna call it a night on this for tonight. Tomorrow, I'm gonna change the oil pan, get the headers and everything on the engine, put the transmission on it, and we're gonna set the engine and transmission in here. That way we can get the cab on it, because remember what I said, by the end of this video, I want engine, transmission, roller, cab on it. That's what I want. So, let's put these bad boys on. We're back in the shop this morning. Got a little late start, but it's fine. I went ahead, I swapped the oil pan. That's a Holley Coyote swap pan, and I got some Hooker Blackheart headers. One thing I know I'm gonna have to do, I was reading a little bit of stuff. I need to take this oil filter piece off, and I need to put a relocation kit because it comes in line with the power steering. I guess if we run a manual steering, it wouldn't matter. But what we'll do, so these motor mounts, they're adjustable. They can slide forward and back, and then you have adjustment here. So what we're gonna do, let me show you. Sorry, pointing the wrong way. We're gonna set it in place. We're gonna pull this off first, set it in place, and then we'll start here and we'll move it back. I wanna make sure these headers are gonna clear this frame and everything, and make sure it's all good there. Then we'll put the transmission on it, probably set it in place, set the cab on it, because more than likely, what will have to happen is this tube, I have a feeling, this tube right here is gonna be in the way of the steering. I don't know, maybe, I've seen where people use factory Mustang headers and they say they work good. These are for an F150, so if these are way too much in the way and it's too much trouble to modify this one tube, which I don't think it will be, but if it is, I will order some Mustang ones and hold on to these for a future project or something. But first things first, we take that oil filter thingy bobber off. Some of you may remember this or know this, but this is my Gen 2 Coyote out of my 57 Fairlane that we traded for this truck, and I kept the engine, transmission, and engine management stuff off of it. for this project. I wonder if it's gonna make a mess and spill oil. Nice. I should have stuck the alternator back in it. Make sure it looks good. See that steering shaft? Man, I'm almost positive that tube's gonna be in the way. But even still, I can cut it, 90 it, run it underneath if I have to. We'll see. Really won't know until the cab's on. And this doesn't seem like it'd be too bad to get to with the cab on. But the only thing I'm concerned about now is the alternator. Might need to come forward. Go ahead and put the transmission on the engine. Set the engine stuff back in here, and then set the cab on. Yeah. Because we need the cab on to really know what we can and can't get away with. Okay, what we got here is our 470W from the Fairlane. Tried and true transmission. We got a few thousand miles on it. Works perfect. Looks like it leaks a little bit, but hey, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I did notice one thing that messes with these types of transmission stuff. I know like 40100s and E4ODs are real popular comment about this. I don't know if I did this or what, but there's fluid inside this plug on the top. So a lot of times that control module and stuff in there, when fluid starts leaking up through there, I mean, it's probably gonna fail eventually. But hey, we're not worried about it right now. Transmission's bolted up, got everything there. I'm probably gonna throw this, well actually no, I'm probably not. Huh, I didn't realize how hard that is to get to those converter bolts now. I'm gonna leave the starter out for now then. I'm gonna put a chain fall or a ratchet strap or something from here so they can be balanced, and we'll take this, set it back in here, get it all propped up, roll this out. Then we'll go ahead and grab the cab, put the cab on the lift, and we'll set the cab back on the truck. And we'll see what we're working with here. Go ahead and just make a mess real quick. Engine sitting in it, transmission, I just got a piece sitting there. What I need to do is measure the angle of the tail shaft and then this rear end and see where we're at on the pitch, because it looks like that's pointing up a little bit, but that's a later issue. Actually, it's all a right now issue, but whatever. Headers, this side, that'll work. Pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to see. Because another factor is the front clip. Whenever we put that front clip on here, I don't remember. I feel like the aprons are out here, but I can't remember. So that's why I really need to get the cab back on this thing and really evaluate the situation. My main concern is this header with the steering, because as you can see, there's the steering shaft. So this isn't looking too hot. So we need to figure this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this back outside, and I'm gonna grab the cab, put the cab on the lift, and I noticed my hydraulic cylinder on my lift is leaking. So that's great. I gotta get that fixed. So we got the cab bushings in place, we got the cab on it, and we're just gonna roll it back, set the cab on. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the final time for the cab to go on. Anything else I need to do with the engine transmission, pretty sure I can do it with the cab on. So we'll go ahead and put the bushings and stuff in it, bolts and stuff. Probably won't tighten the bolts down, but have it just sitting in place just in case I need to do something later. But neighbor kids are having a good time.
They were having a blast.
So go ahead and roll this back, set the cab in place, and cross fingers that everything works. We don't have a whole lot of time for stuff not working. That's like a whole lot of stuff that's about to hit that. This engine can actually go forward, so I should actually slide all that forward, and then once the cab's on, slide it back, so I know where I can go.
Gotcha.
Well, the cab's sitting on it, and I gotta say, this is gonna be a good looking truck. I'm just saying, it's gonna be a beaut. But I have noticed we are gonna have steering issues. So put that there. We need that down in there. So I thought this tube was gonna be the problem. It's gonna be this tube. So that one's gonna be a little bit more difficult to modify. So I'm gonna look into some other headers, see my options. I'm gonna see what I can come up with. But this thing's looking good. I'm excited to have the cab on it. Engine sitting relatively where I want it, mainly because this shifter arm right there, so we got to make sure we have clearance for that. Right there we have clearance, so more than likely that's where the engine transmission setup's going to live. Rear, everything's looking good. I did some measuring from center, or from out or inside to inside of the wheel, and this is a little too narrow for the bed. The bed was like 49 and that was like 47, so I'm gonna order some 2-inch wheel spacers for the rear, get these set out, should be good to go. So with that being said, I'm going to pull the rear in, clean it up, probably blast it, and then just paint it, and we'll be good with the rear end. So I like that, and then we can build the shock mount stuff. But main focus is up here in the front so we can get it to a running driving state, and I need to measure for a drive shaft, build a cross member. So being that this is where probably the engine's gonna live, I'm probably gonna go ahead and get this thing back inside, build a cross member, and we should be good. Once we figure out the header situation, yeah, we'll figure that out. And then I got to order a oil filter relocation kit. I need to find a Volvo electric power steering or electric pump, if anybody knows where one of those is that I can snag up. Snug down the engine mounts, all that stuff. Everything should be good there. Set the cab on it. It's not tight, but doors, everything, they're closing good. So that means the cab's sitting pretty good right now. But it's late and I'm just gonna get this thing back inside. I got to where I wanted to get today. So tomorrow, actually tonight, I'm gonna probably be ordering a bunch of parts. Try to get them here as quick as possible. And we can get really rocking and rolling on this thing. And my main thing is getting the front end back on it. So that way I can get all the wiring in it, get all that stuff done, get this thing fired up. Because as far as this engine knows, it's still in a 57 Fairlane. So it has no idea that it's no longer in that car, the Terminator X, none of that stuff. So whenever we hook everything up, we should be able to bump the key, it should fire right back up, same tune, same everything, and we should be solid. The only thing I'm gonna change is like the gear ratio for the rear end. But other than that, as far as the Terminator knows and this knows, it's still in a 57 Fairlane. So we'll get this thing shoved back inside and I'm gonna go inside for the night. This is what we got going on here. So our dilemma was the headers and steering shaft. So I did the right thing. I was gonna buy some headers and manifolds. I even had Pablo bring me some stock manifold stuff, and I was like, you know what? No, we're gonna make these work. So for starters, this steering shaft is what they had up in here, which was a double D shaft, but for some reason there's a bug on it. Oh, he gone. They shaved it down. I guess they didn't think it would go. So they shaved both sides of this and they came to rubber coupler, whatever. So this in there was wobbly. She was loose. So we got rid of that. Then we drove a DD shaft up in there, which is perfectly fine. I did the same thing on Gilligan. Here, I didn't have the Crown Victoria in, so I took some steering shafts and some stuff apart, you know. Come to find out, bearings, same size. So I'm gonna have to knock these pins down so those don't come out, which I highly doubt they will. So that's good to a regular DD shaft. And then I had to double up on this and make this side as well. I didn't have this either. So I took two and I made one. Ta-da! So we have a steering shaft. And then I took this tube here and I cut it here and I cut it back here. Can y'all see that? Sorry. I cut it here, then I cut it back there, and then I took it and I rolled it out. I rolled it out and then I added about 4-ish inches to right there. So, something on my face. Okay, so now the steering shaft comes up right through here. It's all welded out. I've test fitted it like 5-6 times, but I haven't refitted it since I welded it. This is the first time. So, let's see if it fits. I sure hope it fits. I gotta get more set screws. Oh man, we are golden. It's like I test fitted some stuff, but it's like a Mustang now, huh? We gotta take the headers off and stuff to do steering stuff, but that's okay. I think what I'm gonna do, I need to slide that one down so I can get that shaft a little bit more. I feel like that's too far down. I don't feel like that's in the right spot. That can't be in the right spot. Hang on. Once that's tight, obviously we got to tighten that's in a good place. Then we'll mark those and then we'll drill a pocket. I gotta get some more set screws, but the header steering saga is done. We're good. We are good. So now that we know that's good, we will tighten the motor mounts, all that stuff, build a transmission cross member, get the cab perfectly tight, get the exhaust bolted on for good. And then I got to powder coat these on Tuesday, put those on, and then the front clip goes on it and we start wiring it. And hopefully by the end of the week, we can pop this thing off. Like I said before, as far as this thing knows, it's still in the fair lane. So we'll just have to act excited, be like, oh my gosh, first start, amazing. When reality of it is like, it's gonna start.
You want to know what's been sitting on the island all day while you've been working? The GoPro. Have you been working?
Not really.
You've just been out here avoiding me all day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was my plan. So
Looks like they're steering.
there is steering. So I decided to pull the cab back off.
You're pulling the cab back off?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
I cannot let the firewall stay like that.
Here we go.
Can't. I already took the whole front clip apart and put it in the bed of the truck so I can coat it. I can't. That looks like crap, man. Like that legitimately does not look good. And I will never take this truck this far apart again.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna pull the cab. I'm gonna build the shock cross member in the rear real quick. I'm gonna pull the cab, pull the transmission cross member I built, the shock one, so I coat it tomorrow. Pull the cab, scuff it tonight, get the stuff and coat it tomorrow. And that way I'll have the cab back on. I can't do nothing until I coat all this stuff and everything anyways.
Because you have to coat the bolts.
No, not the bolts, the upper bracket that I was waiting on. They're not coated or nothing.
Okay.
So I can't put the aprons and all that stuff on it until that stuff's on there.
Okay.
So it's like, if I'm gonna do it, like right now is the time to do it.
Just like the frame.
Just like the frame.
So you're just gonna get to a step every time that's like, if I'm gonna do it, I need to do it now.
Yeah. This truck will be running by the end of the week.
Okay.
Nah, it might.
Okay.
Nah, it might.
It might.
It really might.
Depending on rain.
Nah, I ain't worried about the rain.
You don't care if people can hear you in your videos?
Nah. Time lapse it.
Time lapse it and build the intro inside the house.
Yeah. And I had the front clip on earlier, and I didn't like how high it sat too. So luckily I'm getting coilovers, so I'm probably gonna have to add blocks to the rear to lower the rear and stuff. But you know, it's all part of it.
It's a part of the process.
The more I looked at it, and like once I put the front clip on it and like saw everything, I was like, I cannot leave that firewall like that.
Okay guys, he's taking the cab back off because the firewall bothers him.
The only thing attached to the cab right now is the steering. Other than that, it's just sitting there.
Which looks very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Boy, oh boy, are y'all behind. I'll be honest. I've gotten a lot done, but I'm trying to get a lot done in a short time. So I figured at this point it'd just be best just to give you an update and show you where I'm at. So I went ahead and I stripped the front end off the truck and I powder coated it. And as y'all saw, I coated the firewall. So that's how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. I even started wiring up the engine. So the engine is basically wired. So this is the biggest downfall in the world to electronic fuel injection, is trying to compact all that wiring. So I know it kind of looks like a mess, but I have it just kind of ran and zip tied so I knew what I can and can't do and get away with. So that'll work. So now I'm gonna go through and actually clean that up, but I did something for that. We'll come back to that. Not only do we get the front clip on it, steering is officially in the truck, but even after all that stuff, I had to massage the header just a wee bit, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. I went ahead and mounted the fuel pressure regulator, so all I gotta do is run the supply and return to that. And I put the bed on it. We'll come back to that. But like I said, so all this is plugged in, wired. I mean, engine itself is really ready to go. All it needs is power, grounds, and hit the key. Also, I put the AC compressor back on it. I put the starter in it. Front end is fully bolted. But let's walk back here to the back. Look at that. Yep. Y'all don't know it, but I'm sitting down. But look at that. That looks just right. I am digging that. So, stance in the back, good. Stance in the front, not good. Fuel cell. I cannot make up my mind. Do I want to mount it in the middle or off to the side? Because you got to remember, I'm short. So, for me to reach that, it's not the easiest in the world. So I can move it off to the side, but then also that kind of offsets the balance of the truck a little bit. I don't know, but we can get gander up from this side. Yeah, she's looking right. So that's where we're at on the truck. And if you ask me, that's pretty good. We are sitting good. And my shop is always a wreck, but right now it is like absolutely destroyed.